It doesn't matter how many people do it. They don't do it like me. They don't do it like you. Hi friends, what's up? Welcome back. I am going to get straight into today's video. You guys have been liking that so far when we cut the chit chat and we just get right down to business. So let's get into today's video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to become a virtual assistant. What is virtual assisting? If you've seen my side hustle videos, then you have seen me mention this. I've also had a couple of people who are college students or out of the country, people who just can't leave the house, don't want to leave the house, asking what can they do from home. I'm going to elaborate on being a virtual assistant today, and I hope that this helps somebody. Also, if you are new here, thank you for stopping by, but you're gonna wanna go ahead and hit that subscribe button and stay a while because I drop awesome gems every single week on my channel. And if you are not new here, I just wanna thank you so much. We have hit 7.5 thousand subscribers. That is absolutely insane. And I've also received my first payment from YouTube. Can we believe that, honestly? I don't. But thank you guys so much for rocking with your girl, and I'm so glad you guys are here. We're gonna talk about money. Let's get into it. All right, so virtual assisting. So many people talk about this as a side hustle. I haven't gone too deep into it, but let's do that today. What is a virtual assistant? So basically, being a virtual assistant is just like being somebody's secretary, but from home. You could do it remotely. No, it does not mean you don't have to answer the phone or call anybody. And no, that does not mean you are escaping Zoom calls either, but it really just gets you out of leaving the house. Now, some people have specifically said, I want a job that doesn't require customer service, that doesn't require me to pick up the phones. That's not this one. So if that's what you want. So a virtual assistant is really just somebody's administrative assistant or secretary from home virtually. It's that simple, honestly. What are you responsible for? Now, this list can be endless and it can be different based off of who you are working for. Now, some people usually are getting into the virtual assistant business with small and upcoming businesses lately, but there are larger businesses or larger companies, entrepreneurs that are looking for freelance, virtual assistants or assistants, period. So you can also still do all of this if you don't want to do it virtually. Obviously, there are many ways to find out how to be someone's assistant, but this is about being a virtual assistant. The services or the duties that you are gonna have to provide, like I said, can range from so many different things, but it can be, entry-level things. So a lot of people say you could be a virtual assistant with no experience and no skills. Now, these things I'm gonna name are kind of like, I don't think it's no skills that you have to have, but they're pretty basic skills that most people who went to high school or college, even not college, just most people who exist today in this generation kind of know how to do, and they're relatively basic, I think. So that could be, something as simple as managing their emails that come through, managing their calendar and appointments, following up with customers if it is a product or service-based business, managing their reviews, their reputation, being familiar with Microsoft Office. Those are very simple skills that most people do know how to do. They're very basic admin duties, honestly, and there can be a little bit more advanced services that you would need to provide that will definitely probably, dictate how much you're asking to be paid and how much time you are giving to this person as their assistant. So those things could be like bookkeeping. That's very, very important in a business. So if you're doing that, you definitely need to know what you're doing. It can be website development, SEO. It could be their social media management, which you guys know I'm a social media manager. It could be that. And I kind of list that as an advanced skill. It might be like, well, Raven, that's not advanced, but it's not just about social media managing. Is not just about uploading things for them or posting content. It has to be things that are actually driving results. There's no business that's gonna hire a social media manager just to post for them. They want to make sure that you are well versed in what you can do and you can bring them more sales. You can bring them more customers and clients. You can bring them the engagement, not just doing the bare minimum to just keep the page up and running. They want to make sure that what you are doing is actually converting into something that is useful for them, and makes sense to pay you because you are ultimately bringing more money into their pockets. But this services list is endless, honestly, and we're gonna talk more about services in a little bit. What skills are necessary? So skills and services are a little different. Obviously, services are the things you are actually doing for them, like a day in the life of a virtual assistant. This is what I'm doing for you. This is what you're paying me for, specifically down to the task. Skills are more so, why should they hire you? What are you capable of doing? Yes, you can perform the task, but what makes you good at the task? It's one thing to do the task, but are you successful at the task? So skills could range from good communication skills. Communication is very important to people who are hiring you. Can you listen to understand? And can you communicate well with other people? Are you good with your words? Are you okay with talking to people on the phone? Communication is very important. Do you work well with others? Organization is very important as a skill to offer. Planning is a good skill to have, maybe even multitasking. Obviously, you know, basic computer skills are, you know, necessary because you are going to be their virtual assistant. So obviously you probably need to know how to work like Zoom, a Google Calendar, you know, Microsoft Office or Google Drive. Those are pretty basic, and like I said, if you went to high school, you probably used Google Drive in high school or Microsoft Office in high school, so it shouldn't be too hard to use if you don't have actual work experience to say you know how to do this. It should be fine. Lots of these skills that I just mentioned, I also feel are pretty basic and almost everyone should have no matter the job they're going into. These are just obviously things that employers are looking for or businesses are looking for if they're going to be hiring you to perform administrative duties. So they're pretty bare minimum. So how to start? Pretty much break it down into a couple steps. First things first, you want to decide what industry you are going to be working in. Now you don't have to limit yourself to one. If you decide to work with a partner for, you know, one industry, and then when you're finished working with them, you decide you want to work for another industry, more power to you. But I really recommend to stay in what you specialize in and what you know the best. If you are kind of, you know, like, well, I don't know anything, I didn't go to school for any of this, I really just mean like find what you like. So if you personally are into health and fitness and you want to kind of work in that industry, then you most definitely can try and market yourself as a virtual assistant for personal trainers who need help, you know, running their business. Like there's a huge trainer on Instagram. Her name is Katie and Fit, I think. She has the whole Alani Nu brand. I love buying her stuff. But from where she started and where she's at now, she has a huge business, huge. I can't imagine why she wouldn't need help, you know, hiring a virtual assistant or hiring somebody to help with her customer service. Because it's all an online-based business, she probably is, you know, needing help. So if you like the fitness industry, then try and market yourself for that. If you like the makeup industry, if you want to work in the healthcare industry, whatever you want to do, kind of pick your field and kind of market yourself for that. Second, you're gonna wanna make a full service list. What services can you provide? Do not list things that you don't know how to do. Do not tell people that you know how to develop websites and you do not. Don't do that. List clearly the things that you will be comfortable providing and that you are, you know, skilled in, and that's what your services will be. Obviously, as you develop a relationship with whoever you partner with, you can start bringing in more things you know how to do, and as you learn how to do more things, you can continue updating your resume on what you know how to do. But definitely don't lie about things you don't know how to do to try and land a client. And make sure that the services that you provide obviously range from basic skills and services that people need, like the email management, calendar management, all that, you know, Microsoft Office, all that good stuff, all the way up into things that are relevant to that business. So if you are going to be a virtual assistant for a photographer, then maybe mention that, you know, you can provide services with editing their photos, you can help provide services with editing, you know, videos, contacting clients for booking shoots, things like that. Just make sure the services you're listing are intentional and not just random. So next in this process, you have to establish what your boundaries are. So basically just listing, you know, how many days a week do I want to work? How many hours of those days do I want to work? And what are my policies for somebody who wants to hire me? Straight to the point. Don't overwork yourself, but also don't limit yourself so much that that business might skip over you because you're telling them you only want to work 1 8-hour shift a week. They're gonna be like, what? So, I mean, you know, just maybe put yourself out there as you work mornings of Monday through Friday or even Monday through Thursday to keep your Fridays off. You only work from 8 a.m. to noon or 8 a.m. to 1. Just, you know, set your boundaries and that is what you do. That is how it's gonna be. Moving on. Next thing you wanna do, start building your pricing structure. Now this is where things can get a little complicated for you because for one, you've probably never had to price yourself before, but if you are somebody who's had to price yourself before, then you know that, and I've always mentioned in the videos before, that you're never going to really set a price. You're going to set your value. You're going to set your worth. You know what you're capable of, you know how well you do it, and that is what you are trying to negotiate. Obviously, you price less. You know you price less, but you have to put, if you had to put a number on it, make sure that it reflects just how much work you're doing, just how much effort you're putting in. If it requires you to have, if somebody needs you to do social media management and you know you have to have a subscription to your favorite, graphic software, then include that in your pricing. Really set your value. Also decide, are you going to be hourly or are you going to be on a monthly retainer? I personally like a monthly retainer. A lump sum of money paid to me at one time for the month. And that includes all of XYZ services for the entire 30 days of this month, or you can have them pay you that retainer, but they can do it every week to break it up if that makes it better for them. But I just like the retainer because when I'm charging that, I can be more specific on this contractual agreement. I can obligate you to pay this amount for this amount of time for X amount of work I'm putting in, no matter what. Also make sure that when you are setting these prices that you are including whatever expenses you're going to have to conduct this work, whether that is your technology, whether that is your monthly subscriptions to certain software to run their business, or whether that is office supplies. Make sure you are including that in your pricing so that it's not really coming out of your pockets to do this. Whether you are including your internet per month, to be able to virtually meet with them and virtually carry out your services, include that. It doesn't hurt. Also, most important when you're setting these prices is to include room for taxes. Guys, this is a freelance, self-employed, contracted service you are doing. They are not paying you direct deposit and taking taxes out for you. When you are self-employed, 1099, you have to set aside money for taxes. So honestly, when you're setting your prices, just price yourself 25%. Whatever you think you want to price yourself at, up at 25% for room for inflation or room for taxes or room for whatever. Just put that extra buffer on there so that you are not going to play yourself in the end. Make sure you have room to pay your tithes, pay your taxes, and pay yourself, okay? Make sure that the profit after the loss is still great. Okay, almost done, bear with me. Next, you're going to want to establish an online presence. Now, you're going to be a virtual assistant, so you might as well get used to marketing virtually so that you can find clients and generate leads. So that means having a social media presence on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, I don't know what business you're trying to do. LinkedIn. Make sure that your LinkedIn is up to date. Make sure that your profiles are presentable. I actually have an ebook that is going to be dropping soon called Insta Revamp. If your Instagrams look trash, you need this ebook so that you can completely clean it out and start over. Your social media platforms are essentially your resume. Everybody is finding you online, then they want to see that you're worth it. They want to see if you're desirable. And if your page, your feeds look trash, why would they hire you to manage theirs? Make sure that your online social presence is good, whether that's your social media, if you can build you a website real quick off of Wix, if you have a resume that you have posted online on multiple platforms, just make sure everything's up to date and everything looks good. And then the last tip is going to be to attract the clients, attract the business. Usually about most of that is done through your social platforms. For me, 100% of my business comes from social media, but you can also choose to list yourself for hire on freelance websites like I've mentioned in one of the side hustle videos. I like to use the Upwork or the Fiverr app. You can use one of those to list yourself for hire, list what your pricing is, list your services, and people can find you on there and choose to hire you through there. Like I said, most of my business does come from social media, so I don't have to work too hard on the freelance sites because it's more fun for me to market myself on my platforms like YouTube and Instagram to get my business, because I can really be myself and show you who I am first before you decide to hire me. So a couple tips for that for you on how to, attract your clients mostly from social media too, so you're not working too hard, is to always be a walking visual representation of your brand. Whatever you do, whatever you sell, whatever you promote, whoever you are, everybody should know. Everybody should know. Like, the last thing I want is for somebody to say, Oh, I had no idea that you did that. Well, why didn't you know? I talk about it all the time, literally all over my pages. So it's impossible for somebody to not know that I do these services. You see what I mean? So whatever it is that you're gonna be offering, be your brand. There's nobody else who's gonna represent it better than you. So get out there and never stop talking about who you are and what you do. Do not shove it down people's throats, but make them see why you're worth it. Make them see why you are the perfect person, the perfect fit to do what you do. Remember our affirmation a few videos ago? It doesn't matter how many people do it. They don't do it like me. They don't do it like you. So it doesn't matter how many people are out there being virtual assistants. Whatever makes you different and you unique, you need to make sure that is everywhere and very obvious for people to see. And there's no question on why they should hire you. Be confident and be bold and be brave and pitch yourself wherever you are. Always demand what you are worth and never be afraid to tell somebody to just hire you. Network anywhere and everywhere because you never know where you're gonna find your business. And this one, I forgot to mention this a while ago, but also it can help you to get clients or to secure clients that can be long-term if you do trials for a company. So they can try you out for a week. They can try you out for 2 weeks. These will be free. They can either be free or severely discounted, just so they can really see that they can't do it without you. Make yourself irreplaceable. Make yourself desirable. They need you to do what you do for them. They tried you out, they loved you, and now they probably can't do this without you. So make yourself irreplaceable and just go out there and get that money. Okay? This video can be related to so many different type of businesses, but the virtual assistant business, it's saturated. So make yourself different and desirable. Get on here, on these sites, on these social media platforms, and make it happen. You have the potential to make a lot of money doing this. You do. A lot of people can make this a full-time thing. So do not be discouraged that, you know, your friend over here tried it and they didn't last. Your friend over here tried it and they didn't make much money. They weren't getting the right clients, okay? They didn't see this video that I posted, okay? So I have faith in you and I know that you can do this. I believe in you and all that you do, and I just know that this is gonna work for you. So let me know how this goes for you. If you have any questions, all that good stuff, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and just tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody, and I'll see y'all in the next video, okay? Bye!